In this session, we shall now go through some more main features, rather important concepts from binomial theorem. Consider the expansion x plus y whole to the power of n. How many terms will be there? Automatically n plus 1 terms will be there. How many terms? N plus 1 terms. What are they? nc naught into x power n into y power 0 plus nc 1 into x power n minus 1 into y power 1 and so on, etc. nc n into x power 0 into y power n. All together, how many terms are there? N plus 1 term. Okay, so the number of terms is equal to n plus 1. N plus 1. Good. Case 1. N is even. Suppose n is even. Implies n plus 1 is odd. Actually, the concept on which we would like to throw light is middle terms of the expression. What are they? Middle terms. You see, there are n plus 1 terms and n plus 1 is odd. You see, how can you estimate middle term? These are 5 fingers. What is the middle finger? This is the middle finger. Why should we call it middle? Because 2 fingers on that side, 2 fingers on this side, isn't it? So, as there are 5 fingers, 5 plus 1 by 2, 6 by 2. Third finger is the middle finger. Suppose there are 11 persons. Who is the middle person? 11 plus 1 by 2. That is, 6th person will be the middle person, isn't it? Suppose there are 15 terms. What is the middle term? 15 plus 1 by 2. That is 16 by 2. That is the 8th term is the middle term. Here n plus 1 is odd. Therefore, what is the middle term? Middle term is equal to t n plus 1 by 2. As n plus 1 is odd, n plus 1 is even by 2. It happens. So, t n plus 1 by 2, that is equal to t n by 2 plus 1 is the middle term. So, in case 1, what we could notice is if n is even, then there is only one middle term. What is that? That is t n by 2 plus 1. t n by 2 plus 1 is the only middle term in the expansion. Okay, how many middle terms are there in the expansion x plus y whole to the power of 20? N is even. So, there is only one middle term. What is that? T 20 by 2 plus 1. That is t 11. 11th term is the middle term in this expansion. In a similar way, if at all the exponent, that is n, is even, then there is only one middle term. Okay, let us now observe the other case. Case 2. N is odd. In this case, n plus 1 is even. N plus 1 is even. So, how many number of terms are there? Number of terms is even. You see, these are 4 fingers. How many middle terms are there? This is a middle term, this is another middle term. These 2 fingers are to be called middle because one on this side, one on this side, isn't it? Suppose there are 6 members, 1 middle or 2 middle persons will be there. 2 middle persons will be there. Who are they? 3rd and 4th. If there are 10 persons, 5th and 6th persons are the middle persons. If there are 20 terms, suppose there are 20 terms in an expansion, 20 by 2 means 10 and its adjacent is 11. So, 10th and 11th terms are 2 middle terms. Well, if the number of terms is even, that is if n is odd, how many middle terms will be there? 2 middle terms will be there. What are they? In this case, there will be 2 middle terms, namely t n plus 1 by 2 and its adjacent. Adjacent means n plus 1 by 2 plus 1th place, that is t n plus 1 by 2 and t n plus 3 by 2 are the middle terms. Two middle terms will be there. Regarding the number of terms present in the expansion, if n is even, then n plus 1 is odd. Number of terms is odd. There is only one middle term called t n by 2 plus 1. And if n is odd, then n plus 1 is even. Number of terms is even. Then there will be two middle terms, namely t n plus 1 by 2 and t n plus 3 by 2. That's it. Now we shall try to understand this concept very firmly by means of numerical examples. Consider the expansion. The number of middle terms of of 2 plus 3x whole to the power of 20 is first option, only one. Second option, there are two middle terms. There are two middle terms. Third option, we cannot decide. Fourth option, none. Come on dear, what is n here? 20. Is it even or odd? It is even. So there is one and only one middle term, and that middle term is given by 20 by 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. Hence there is one and only one middle term, namely the 11th term. So what is the right option? First option is the right option. Well, there has been another standard problem here to discuss with, a beautiful problem. We shall now discuss with that famous problem. The middle term of 1 plus x whole to the power of 2n is, or rather find the middle term of. There are some options containing product of odd integers, product of even integers in the options. Anyway, we shall derive this actually. Look here. Here, number of terms is equal to 2n plus 1 is odd. 2n is even. Therefore, there is one and only one middle term is equal to t 2n by 2 plus 1, that is tn plus 1. That is tn plus 1. What is this n plus 1th term? Is just nothing but 2ncn into x to the power of n. 2ncn into x to the power of n. It's a famous problem. You see, this has acquired such a popularity because of this expression 2ncn, because of the number 2ncn in the answer. This 2ncn of course can be expressed as a product of some odd integers divided by something. So there has been a simplification about this. For that reason only this is a famous problem, 2ncn into x to the power of n. Yes. Consider the expansion ax plus 1 by bx whole to the power of 2n. Ax plus 1 by bx whole to the power of 2n. What I mean to say is that 2n is an even integer. Is an even integer. In this expansion, the beautiful concept that must be observed is middle term is equal to the constant term. Middle term is equal to the constant term. Yes, what is the middle term actually? Whole power 2n is there, 2n is even, so the number of terms is 2n plus 1, that's odd. There is exactly one and only one middle term, namely tn plus 1. Well, what about the constant term? You see, it will be made clear if you can go through one example. Look here, 2x plus 1 by 3x whole to the power of 10 is there. I like to have the constant term. You please recollect the style of getting constant term. First of all, we have r and p, that is 10 by p plus q, that is 2, is equal to 5. So that term which starts with NCR with r as 5 is the constant term. Therefore, constant term is equal to 10C5 2 power 10 minus 5 by 3 power 5. That is the constant term. Okay, let us calculate the middle term. Middle term is equal to, what is n? 10. 10 is even. How many middle terms will be there? One and only one middle term will be there, and that is of course 10 by 2 plus 1. 10 by 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So T6 is nothing but 10C5 2 power 5 by 3 power 5. That's it. What about x's? X power 5 and by x power 5, they will be cancelled. It is very easy to observe that these two are one and the same. Well, my dear, you need not have only ax. You can have ax power p by bx power p. If these two have the same exponents, one in the numerator and other in the denominator, then also the same thing happens. Middle term is equal to constant term. That is the most beautiful thing that must be observed. You please have that in your mind.